Part 142. Divine System of the Strongest Card Supplier in the End Times, Doomsday Strongest Card Supplier. Author, Shu. Chapter 1411. But what these bring to the race is not development, not rising, nor hope, but a crisis of annihilation. Crisis is ahead. Everything is creepy and disturbing. Ymir frowned, her pink fist clenched silently, and the great priest robe she was wearing squeaked under the swaying candlelight. Everything seemed very silent. Defend the temple. If it's really impossible, I'll take the lead in killing myself. The rest, flee. How you go in the future is up to you. Ymir sighed with emotion. The priest's staff in her hand was raised silently, and the holy rays of light flashed in her eyes. This feeling seemed extraordinarily real. Mother, the alien invader, here we come. Hundreds of thousands of cultivators rushed towards the side. It seems, I don't seem to see any practitioners below the real king level. The deputy hall of the human emperor's palace, Zhang Ao, came over, his face calm for a while. His talent in cultivation is not very high, but he is definitely an excellent commander in team battle command. Several classic battles in the palace of the emperor were defeated under his leadership. Finally, it's still here. Ymir sighed lightly, but there was not much surprise on her face. It seemed that everything seemed very bland. Naturally, there is no need to show a surprised expression because of the predicted result. There is still some power of faith in the temple of the Acropolis. For the time being, I can still do my best. After the defense is broken, it's up to you how you choose. Escape, or surrender, or fight to the death. Ymir muttered to herself, as if speaking to others, but also speaking to herself. Mistress, if the Lord returns, maybe. Yilingtian, the patriarch of the winged clan on the side, lit up with anticipation in his eyes. I hope he doesn't come back, never comes back. This time the enemy, too strong, too strong. Not an existence we can fight against. Even a 7th rank force like the Motian Shentian League can only shiver under their oppression. If he doesn't come back, how village will still be alive? Wangjun, be well. Ymir said, looking at the skylight above the temple, looking at the boundless sky, seeing through the layers of white clouds. It seems, I saw a huge warship. Such a warship, she had seen it too many times in the army of these invaders, and she had long since become accustomed to it. This kind of behemoth, their all-out attack can't even break through a single defense. Sadly, predictable. The huge hatch of the warship was opened, and a group of soldiers came out in an orderly manner. The first group of soldiers, riding black dragons, soared above the 9 heavens, looking particularly frightening and terrifying. The second team came out, a unicorn with a single horn hovering on its head. The third team, with heavy machine guns. Ymir's eyes changed instantly, and the sound of inhalation suddenly became more real. As he spoke, the corners of his mouth twitched slightly, his hands were tightly scratching together. Yes, it's his legion. He's back. Don't come back. It's dangerous. It's really dangerous here. Ymir bit her red lips tightly, her eyes twinkled brightly, and her breathing became more real. Thinking of this in my heart, my body couldn't help but tremble. Divine System of the Strongest Card Supplier in the End Times, Doomsday Strongest Card Supplier. Author, Shu. Chapter 1412. From Ymir's point of view, she would rather die than hope that the person in her mind would be in any danger. Not even a little bit. Absolutely not allowed. Huck it. Dong dong dong. Ymir's body trembled slightly, she felt her heart was beating violently, the beating range was getting bigger and bigger. Ymir can notice the existence outside the skylight of the temple, and other people can naturally notice it. Yes, Hall Master. It is the Legion of the Hall Master. The commander of the Yiten Legion and the patriarch of the Yiren clan, Yi Lingtian, took a deep breath, and then shouted in surprise. While shouting, the excitement in his eyes seemed particularly real. This true feeling is revealed, crushing everything. Big brother. Big brother. Really big brother. Big brother is back. Zhou Kaishan jumped up and down. Even though there were wounds all over his body, he didn't take it seriously. The deputy hall of the Emperor's Hall, Zhang Ao, seemed much more restrained, and he didn't show too much dancing, but the rapid breathing and the corners of his mouth that were about to split showed his mood at the moment. In their hearts, Fang Fan, that is the refinement of will. When Fang Fan returns, everything will be as stable as Mount Tai. Could there be any surprises? The miracles that Fang Fan had created were displayed in front of them, as if everything was still yesterday. In the blink of an eye, the hall master had already left for several months. Everyone was excited and felt that they had found hope for survival, but Ymir and Kylan looked at each other, worried. This is the Acropolis, the branch temple of the Acropolis. Look inside, there should be a group of survivors. Fang Fan's eyes swept around, he said calmly, and then looked indifferently at the alien cultivators in front of him. There are slaves here. Get them. Get them all. They can sell them for a good price. Kill kill kill. The quality of this batch seems to be very good. The shouts came one after another, appearing eager and fearless. They saw that Fang Fan's first reaction was not to organize a battle formation for defense, but to attack in a random manner. They are too arrogant on the human plane. In other words, they never encountered any decent resistance from beginning to end, so let them become ambitious. Fang Fan's hand clenched silently, the murderous intent in his eyes condensed indifferently. In front of these, there are hundreds of thousands of foreign cultivators. The 10 major legions obey orders. The 6 heroes obey orders. The 4 god pets obey orders. Huanggan, Na Yan obey. My purpose is only one, kill. Kill them all. Kill them all. I don't need to live, let alone captives. I just want killing and revenge. Fang Fan's foot was in the void, and the space became vibrated for a while, and a cloud of debris gathered here, and the power of space gathered crazily. Desolation of desolation. Cut. Fang Fan held the 4-star holy sword and rushed out in a fearless manner. He just wants to decide everything with the courage and will to fight to the end. This is the idea of fighting. This is the spirit of fighting. A strangulation begins. Ha ha ha. These ants actually learn to resist. Interesting and interesting. Brothers of Haoshan Pavilion. Let's play a game, shall we? Let's see who of us kills the most ants. Oh. The humble ants. How dare you resist? It's really against the sky. Kill kill kill. You are listening to novels at Bless Up channel. Wish you happiness and luck. Please subscribe to receive new novels. How do you feel about this novel? Please like and leave a comment. Divine System of the Strongest Card Supplier in the End Times, Doomsday Strongest Card Supplier. Author, Shu Yu. Chapter 1413. From their words, Fang Fan can know that these are also the people of Life Haoshan Pavilion. Now Fang Fan is not quite sure whether the practitioners who invaded the human plane are only from Haoshan Pavilion, or if Haoshan Pavilion is just one of their forces. And how powerful is a force like Haoshan Pavilion? Similar to the third-grade forces like the Chen Tian clan? Or stronger? Or much stronger? Fang Fan, who was fighting, has always been relatively silent. The sword in his hand speaks for him in his place. At this moment, only the dripping blood can make him more awake. This feeling is particularly real. Rampage in the killing, detachment in the killing, liberation in the killing. That's probably how it feels. At the moment of death, everything is silent. Da da da. The familiar roar of the low heavy machine gun came, and every second, more than tens of thousands of law bullets rushed out frantically, hitting these intruders. If one misses, then 10. If 10 hits won't kill you, then 100. Endless law bullets are ruling this space, and everything in the space is erupting in annihilation. At first, these Haitian pavilion cultivators appeared arrogant, rushing over without any rules and arrogance, but soon, they would have to pay the price for their frivolity. Pay the price with your life. The pouring of bullets and the gathering of artillery fires directly stunned them. Before they rushed over, they were already torn into pieces. In the sky, flesh and blood are flying. This is a demon attack. It's terrible. These people are all demons, they are all sent by demons to punish us. We can't get into their bodies at all, and we have become a mass of flesh and blood before we charge to them. I don't want to die, I want to live. These people are too terrifying, they should not be a human plane. Is it a cultivator from another force? Damn it! There are still people who dare to meddle in our Haitian pavilion's business. Damn it! Fighting with them. Fight for chicken feathers. If you have the ability, you should rush up first. I know you are awesome. Grass, a chicken feather, I don't want to go to death. Hee, you also know that this is courting death. Deacon, the deacon is still here, and obey the arrangements of the deacon. Hundreds of thousands of practitioners in Haitian Pavilion suffered tens of thousands of casualties in an instant. Instantly became terrified. In the face of death, few people can express indifference. When the knife is really on your neck, when the blood flows down from the face, and the warm blood spurts out from the chest, the hesitation and fear in the heart are the strongest at this moment. The 100,000 cultivators remaining in Haitian Pavilion all focused their attention on an old man. This is the deacon they are longing for. The ultimate quasi-sage powerhouse, Sean. Your power is very strong. May I ask which power you are from? I am Sean, the guardian of Haitian Pavilion. Please also give us Haitian Pavilion a face, let's go. The old man Sean came over with messy hair, his face looked particularly haggard, his skin was sallow and dark, and his eyes looked cloudy and dull. Haitian Pavilion. I give you Haitian Pavilion face, who gives me face? Fang Fan smiled coldly, killing intent. Divine system of the strongest card supplier in the end times, Doomsday strongest card supplier. Author, Shu Yu. Chapter 1414. Today, I came here to kill. The desire to kill is vigorous, and the murderous intention is displayed in an instant. Hearing Fang Fan's arrogant words, the deacon of Haitian Pavilion immediately narrowed his eyes. Could it be that your excellency doesn't know about my Haitian Pavilion? I'm just a little deacon of Haitian Pavilion, and I already have the ultimate quasi-cultivation. And above me, there are guardians, great guardians, offerings to the Supreme Being, and even, the Pavilion Master. Do you think you have a few supreme quasi-sages under your command, so you can act recklessly? Indeed. I admit that these legions under your command are very strong and strange, but what's wrong? In front of our Haitian Pavilion, they will only fall apart. If you offend my Haitian Pavilion, there will be no place for you in the sky and the ground. On the other hand, if you can get to know each other a little bit, then retreat, and we will all see each other in the future. But speaking of which force do you come from? In the celestial sanctuary, I don't seem to have heard of your character. Haitian Pavilion Deacon Xiao En said, the strange look in his eyes became more and more. Fang Fan fell into a brief silence. At this moment, I know some information more or less. For example, Qingtian Sanctuary should be where Haitian Pavilion is located. Above the galaxy is the star field. Above the star field is the sanctuary. Celestial Sanctuary, Fang Fan never knew about this place before. Fang Fan sank slightly, his eyes gradually became calm. The tricks in this are getting more and more interesting. How did you Haoshan Pavilion discover my human plane? And why do you want to slaughter my human plane? Fang Fan squinted his eyes, and the look in his eyes became more and more thoughtful, all of which were unknown to him. The plane of the human race? Are you also a human race practitioner? Haoshan Pavilion's deacon, Xiao En, was taken aback for a moment, and seemed to be a little surprised. This small place can actually breed an existence like you. As expected of the source plane. Xiao En, the deacon of Haoshan Pavilion, spoke with more or less admiration in his eyes. A Tianjiao who can walk out of such a small place is obviously more valuable. It would be great to be able to recruit such a genius into the Haoshan Pavilion. At the very least, this should be a great achievement. Choose to surrender to me, Haoshan Pavilion, but you can save your life. Otherwise, kill without mercy. The deacon of Haoshan Pavilion suddenly became arrogant, and there were bright lights in his eyes. Fang Fan smiled. Do you think you have the qualifications? Those who offend my human race will be punished even if they are far away. You are already dead now. Fang Fan's body burst out, killing intent in his eyes. You are just courting death. A mere low-level quasi-sage dares to shoot at me. Absurd. Haha. Since you are the leader of these people, then if I kill you, I will naturally win. Go to hell. Haoshan Pavilion Deacon Xiao En showed a look of surprise on his face. As he spoke, he rushed towards Fang Fan's position frantically. He wanted to turn the situation around by beheading Fang Fan. I'm really still young, I don't know such a small routine. I irritated him a little, but I rushed over to death alone. Hee, when I kill him, everything will be no problem. The deacon of Haoshan Pavilion, Xiao En, thought so, and the hope in his eyes became more and more obvious. Divine System of the Strongest Card Supplier in the End Times, Doomsday Strongest Card Supplier. Author, Shu Yu. Chapter 1415. As Fang Fan got closer to the position of Shan, the deacon of Haoshan Pavilion, he could see the smile on Shan's face more clearly. An inexplicable sneer appeared on Fang Fan's face. Do you really think that this kind of low-level aggressiveness is useful? This is simply Arabian Nights. Even though the Aragama's fury skill is still in the cooling down period, I have 10 servant gods under my command. Share servant god skill activated. The power of the servant gods belongs to me. Fang Fan snorted secretly, his eyes twinkled brightly, and the hand holding the 4-star holy sword became stronger and stronger. Cut. Desolation of desolation. A sword cut through the sky? No. It's impossible. No. It's not like that, it's fake. Fake. Haoshan Pavilion Deacon Xiao En opened his eyes wide, his face full of disbelief. He couldn't believe that this would be true. The scene in front of him looked particularly terrifying. The sense of fear that came from his heart made him instantly lose the motivation to resist. Fang Fan's sword already has the power beyond the 1-star sanctuary. Shan swallowed a mouthful of saliva. He had only felt this kind of power from the Dharma protector. He's going to get cold, he's going to die, he's going to be completely terminated. There is a bleakness in the fear. Let me go, I don't want to die, I really don't want to die. Haoshan Pavilion is not something you can deal with. If you kill me, Haoshan Pavilion will not let you go. Who, you can't do this, don't. This road, can't go through. What? A burst of screams came, and the screams cut through the sky, shaking the sky. Click. Stab. The sound of bone cracking came, the head fell to the ground. The Haoshan Pavilion was a quasi-sanctuary deacon, and he died. Among the hundreds of thousands of Haoshan Pavilion practitioners in front of him, this one is the strongest. After he died, the remaining Haoshan Pavilion practitioners naturally scattered like frightened cloud beasts. As for revenge, that's all bullshit, it's neither a father nor a son, so do you need to take your own life? In the face of life and death, sometimes family doesn't work, let alone anything else. Kill. I don't need prisoners. Fang Fan narrowed his eyes, killing intent concentrated. These are the invaders who invaded the human plane. They have caused great harm to the human race, even disaster. They don't deserve to die. Fang Fan is not qualified to forgive them for the human race. Only blood and life are more convincing. Fang Fan flew down and came to the desolate temple of the Acropolis. The gate of the temple that was closed at the moment was slowly being opened. The moment the door opened, several familiar figures jumped into view. Mayor Kylan, Zhang Ao, Yi Lingtian, Kaishan. Fang Fan called out several names one after another, and at this moment there was more and more light in his eyes. The heart that was hanging in the air before finally fell to the ground. Everyone is fine. Everyone is safe. Everything is settled. Fang Fan Fei stepped forward and hugged Ymir and Kylan tightly, his eyes closed silently, and the thoughts in his heart gathered crazily. The person he cares about most is fine. That's good, good. Husband. Husband. The two women shouted one after another. Ymir has always called Fang Fan her husband, but Kylan used to address her dearly before, so now it's a bit unaccustomed to call her husband. You are listening to Novels at Bless Up channel. Wish you happiness and luck. Please subscribe to receive new novels. How do you feel about this novel? Please like and leave a comment. Divine System of the Strongest Card Supplier in the End Times, Doomsday Strongest Card Supplier. Author, Shu Yu. Chapter 1416. Boss. Hey hey hey. How come you are so powerful now? My god. That alien, I'm afraid there are more than 5 stars in the Emperor realm, right? It's so strong. You actually killed it with one move. Zhou Kaishan came over excitedly and looked around beside Fang Fan. While looking at it, he was still tisk admiring, and the words were full of shock. This feeling is real and urgent from beginning to end. 5-star Emperor. Ha ha. Fang Fan smiled, patted Zhou Kaishan on the shoulder, and then said, in the near future, you will become so powerful. Human plane, what happened? Aren't you supposed to be in the palace of the Emperor of Zhongchang? Why are you all gathered in the Acropolis? Fang Fan pondered secretly, and then asked. Boss, you don't know. About 5 or 6 days ago, many aliens suddenly broke into our human plane. What do you say that our human plane is the source plane, and then slaughter us? By the way, they have also occupied all of the magical mines that we excavated before in the palace of the Emperor. This group of people burned, killed, and looted on the plane of our human race. I don't know how many bad things they have done. Huh, it's a pity that we couldn't resist their attack at all. Those alien races are so strong. My sister-in-law sent her 1-star Emperor realm Maya Valkyrie Legion to fight, but in the end they all came back. Hey, it's too tragic. Boss, thanks to your timely return this time, otherwise the human race plane, maybe really will be completely destroyed. Our Yan Kingdom, the survivors of our human emperor's palace are basically here, and most of the practitioners in the remaining cities have been poisoned. Either they were massacred, or they were captured and became slaves. I hate myself for being so weak. Bang bang bang. While talking, Zhou Kaishan smashed his fist on the pillar frantically, and his face became resentful. Fang Fan gritted his teeth secretly. During his absence from the human race plane, it is obvious that too many things happened to the human race. The calamity of the human race. Nothing more than this. My lord, Zhang Ao is incompetent. Failed to keep his promise to keep the palace of the emperor. Zhang Ao is willing to apologize to himself. Zhang Ao looked ashamed, and while speaking, he immediately took out the sword from his waist and stabbed it towards his heart. There was never even the slightest bit of holding back, and the posture was full from beginning to end. It seems to be determined to die. Father. Don't want. A young woman in a red outfit came running from a distance, with an anxious look on her face. Fang Fan mobilized the power of the law and took the sword from Zhang Ao's hand indifferently. Sonorous. The long sword fell to the ground, making a sound. Father, what are you doing? If you die, what will you do with your daughter? Do you want your daughter to die with you? Father. Tears flowed from the pupils of the red-clothed woman, and suddenly knelt down in front of Fang Fan. Master Hall Master, please forgive my father. He has done his best. If you really want to punish me, please kill me. I, Zhang 11, would like to die instead of my father. The woman in red clothes knocked her head on the ground, making a burst of noise, and strands of blood came out from her forehead. 11 you child. Zhang Ao sighed and sighed to himself. Divine system of the strongest card supplier in the end times, Doomsday strongest card supplier. Author, Shu Yu. Chapter 1417. Master Hall Master. I beg you. Zhang 11 had a determined look on his face, obviously ready to sacrifice himself. Fang Fan opened his mouth and sighed. How could he make him seem like some wicked man? When did I say I was going to kill your father? Fang Fan stepped forward and helped Zhang Ao and Zhang 11 up. Vice Hall Master Zhang Ao, you are my humoral backbone. If it weren't for you, the palace of the emperor would not have developed to this point. Resume of the emperor's palace, you have made outstanding achievements. This alien invasion has nothing to do with you. You can evacuate to the Acropolis branch temple in time, and retain your vitality to a great extent, which is already excellent. The enemy who came this time, is indeed not something you can deal with. Not only do you have no faults, but you have merit. If I behead a humorous like yours, wouldn't I cut off my arm? The palace of the emperor needs you. I need you too. Fang Fan looked at Zhang Ao seriously, with a sincere look on his face. These words are absolutely sincere words from the heart. From all perspectives, this is the true consciousness in the heart. Lord, I, Zhang Ao, he de he nang. Zhang Ao pursed his lips, and his eyes showed infinite guilt. Would you like to continue to follow me and fight back? Kill the aliens. Recover the rivers and mountains. Fang Fan threw an olive branch towards Zhang Ao, while speaking, the corners of his mouth rose silently, his sincere gesture was very real. May I die for the Lord. Just my Lord, those alien races who invaded the human race this time are really strong. At this moment, the main force of these alien races is entrenched in Zhongcheng. We should make a plan and move later, and we can't easily send troops. Zhang Ao chose a safe method. In general, there is nothing wrong with this method. Just from Fang Fan's point of view, he doesn't want to wait any longer. Not even a moment. No, just kill it and go back this time, that's it. Count the troops and horses. Come back with me. I want them to pay with blood and blood. Fang Fan clenched his fists indifferently, and murderous intent gathered in his eyes. Zhongcheng, the palace of the emperor. Tisk, this kind of small place, I didn't expect the building to be quite unique. Well, I'm going to ask my father to grant this place to me as a territory. By the way, the protector of Balin, have all the human races in this plane been cleaned up? I will keep secrets about the few divine crystal mines and star crystal mines. If anyone leaks it, everyone will be killed. On the throne, a coquettish young man in a red robe was lying on it and said indifferently. He is Haun, the 37th son of the pavilion master of Haoshan Pavilion. But unfortunately, it is not a direct descendant, but a collateral descendant, so he is not qualified to be the heir of the Pavilion Master, and he is not qualified to compete for the position of Pavilion Master. His greatest achievement in the future is just to split some planes and become the master of the planes of the powerful side. Originally, he was just bored and came out to relax, but he didn't expect to discover the source plane. The so-called source plane is that it has experienced several epoch rotations, and the spiritual power of this plane has gradually disappeared, then it has gone through an unknown number of epochs, and gradually, the accumulated energy is enough, this plane begins again. Return to the ancestors, return to the peak state. Such source planes are of varying quality, but there is no doubt that even the most rubbish source planes are valuable. Divine System of the Strongest Card Supplier in the End Times, Doomsday Strongest Card Supplier. Author, Shu Yu. Chapter 1418. It's weird that things like luck cannot be detected. Haun, the son of the Pavilion Master of Haoshan Pavilion, thought so in his heart, the corners of his mouth rose silently, and the coquettish color on his face became more and more. Immediately, he glanced at the protector Balin standing aside. This is the strength guarantee of his separatist side? As the son of the Pavilion Master, even if it is only a collateral line, it is enough to have a guardian. Young Master Yun, everything has been handled properly. The entire plane has been purged. Even if there are some fish that slip through the net, they will not be able to turn the tide. Those captured human races were transported out by warships, waiting for their fate to be slaves for life. Old and dead on the mines. However, young Master Meteor, if you want to mine the Divine Crystal Mine and Star Crystal Mine, you will still need mine slaves. Now that you have sold all the mine slaves, what to do with the mines here? Haoshan Pavilion Protector Balin, who was wearing a grey long-distance runner, showed a surprised look on his face, and then asked respectfully. "Haha. We can go buy another batch of miners. Shenjing Mine is fine. Star Crystal Mine belongs to high-level ore veins, and the human race of this plane has no ability to mine. At least mine slaves in the real King Realm can enter it to mine star crystal ore. Don't worry about this, just wait, it can't be too bright. These mines, I must hold them in my hands. If the rumors are leaked, and my brothers know about it, they will still be able to get on my head." Hao Yun, the son of the Pavilion Master of Haoshan Pavilion, said, his eyes became more and more silent. Young Master Yun is wise. Protector Balin in a grey robe gave a flat compliment. Young Master Yun, there won't be any accidents with the things you handed me over. Balin Protector spoke, then he held his head high, full of confidence. Report, there was a problem with the team led by Deacon Sean, and hundreds of thousands of practitioners were beheaded. At this moment, a messenger rushed over from the door and reported the information. The face of the protector of Balin wearing a grey robe changed. Isn't this a slap in the face? Just now I said that there would be no accidents, I made a promise, and I patted my chest, and that's it now. That's it? This is clearly playing him, okay. The point is there something special about playing like this? Does this mean playing chicken feathers? Waste. What about Sean? What about the others? A bunch of trash. What the hell happened? Let Sean come back and die. Protector Balin walked over with a gloomy face, stretched out his hand to grab the messenger's neck, and lifted him directly from the ground. Looking at the face of the messenger that was gradually turning hideous due to suffocation, Balin took a deep breath, and there was an expression of enjoyment on his face. Everyone has their own special hobbies. The special hobby of this protector of the North Forest is that he likes to humiliate others. Seeing the expressions of other people who can't survive and can't die, he will look very excited. Lord Protector Dharma Protector, Sean, Deacon Sean, has been beheaded. The messenger twitched his lips, his eyes were staring, and his body was twitching rapidly when he spoke. He thought he would survive until he finished speaking, but what awaited him was a deeper pain. Lord Protector, no. Don't, I. Click. Balin silently broke the neck of this messenger, and then he was like throwing away a dead dog, looking particularly disgusted. You are listening to Novels at Bless Up channel. Wish you happiness and luck. Please subscribe to receive new novels. How do you feel about this novel? Please like and leave a comment. Divine System of the Strongest Card Supplier in the End Times, Doomsday Strongest Card Supplier. Author, Shu. Chapter 1419. That's what you said, handled it properly. Haun, the son of the pavilion master of Haoshan Pavilion, walked over with a cold face, and then glanced at the corpse of the messenger on the ground, with a hint of anger in his eyes. This guy is getting more and more presumptuous. Although a messenger doesn't matter, but this kind of thing should be done by him. He, the son of the pavilion owner, is still here, killing people in front of him. What do you mean? Is this to express their dissatisfaction? Want to rebel? Young Master Yun, this matter, it's because my subordinates didn't handle it properly. But Master Yun, don't worry, even if there are a few small fish and shrimps running in, it won't get in the way, it'll be fine if it's cleaned up. Balin, who was wearing a grey robe, said indifferently. The expression on his face became more and more indifferent, as if he didn't care about this matter from beginning to end. Humph. Little fish and shrimp. Those who can kill hundreds of thousands of cultivators under my command are considered small fish and shrimp. If I remember correctly, this Shan seems to be your right-hand man, right? A quasi-sanctuary? He was killed like this? The strength of the enemy is unknown, you should be careful yourself. The secrets of this plane cannot be exposed. Otherwise, your life is not enough to pay. Hao Yun glanced coldly at Balin, who was wearing a grey robe, and while speaking, he did not hide the dissatisfaction and disgust in his eyes. Balin lowered his head silently, his eyes flickering fiercely. Report, report, report. A messenger rushed in again from outside the door. The messenger saw the body of his companion at the door, his body trembled unnaturally, and the tone of speech gradually changed. He was also afraid that he would suffer like this. The treatment, the sense of fear in the heart is particularly real. Say. This young master is here, no one can hurt you. Hao Yun, the son of the pavilion master of Haoshan Pavilion, stepped forward and asked everything eagerly. Yes, it's the young master. Outside, a pair of men and horses attacked from outside. It seems that those human races who escaped before. While the messenger was talking, his body couldn't help leaning towards Hao Yun's side, and his gaze towards the protector Balin was full of horror. Whoosh! Protector Balin stepped forward indifferently and grabbed the neck of this messenger. Balin! What do you want to do? Hao, the son of the pavilion master of Haoshan Pavilion, was stunned for a moment, then roared. Click! As his roar fell, the head of the messenger had been taken off. Young Master Yun, this guy has a heart of disobedience. His action just now was deliberately trying to provoke a conflict between you and me. Damn it. Balin wiped his hands, but there was no blood on his hands, but he wiped it many times, as if he had some kind of quirk. Humph. This is already the 78th messenger you killed this month. Now in the entire military camp, the messenger has become the army with the highest mortality rate. Balin. Don't be too domineering. Hao Yun, the son of the pavilion master of Haoshan Pavilion, took a deep breath, his face full of dissatisfaction. Is it? Young Master Yun, are you unhappy with seeing me? Then your subordinates obey. Just kill a few less messengers in the future. Balin said that he obeyed the order, but the rebelliousness on his face became more and more obvious. You don't move around here, just wait for me to kill the intruder. After Balin finished speaking, he turned and left. Bastard! Hao Yun, the son of the pavilion master of Haoshan Pavilion, gritted his teeth, his eyes filled with murderous intent. Divine system of the strongest card supplier in the end times, Doomsday strongest card supplier. Author, Shu Yu. Chapter 1420. If it weren't for his strength now, he would have done it himself. Of course, from Haoun's point of view, even if he was personally responsible, he would definitely not be an opponent. After venting his temper, Haoun, the son of the pavilion master of Haoshan Pavilion, walked out of the door silently, and then flew over. He also wanted to see what the situation was. Returning to Zhongcheng again, Fang Fan couldn't help showing a hint of excitement on his face. The building here is still the same as before, not much has changed. Looking at it from a distance, there is a mighty bunker on top of the tallest building. Above the bunker, laser cannons are deployed neatly and uniformly. In the past, this war fortress protected the entire Zhongcheng and killed countless zombies and demonized beasts for Zhongcheng. And now, it's just a display. Because at this moment, the artillery fire from the laser cannons on this war fortress has almost no lethality to everyone. Any King Realm cultivator can easily catch laser cannonballs with his bare hands. The building remains the same, but the situation here has already changed dramatically. In the entire Zhongcheng, there is not a single human race alive. On the streets, I felt a strong bloody smell. The remaining cultivators in Zhongcheng all fled to the Acropolis branch temple to escape, but those who did not have time to transfer were mostly killed, a small number were captured, and then branded and sent to the warship, waiting for their fate to become slaves. Human race, never be a slave. Fang Fan's eyes instantly turned blood red, and the fireworks of revenge rose wildly in his mind. This idea is also gradually rising. Revenge became his only will at the moment. Who are you? Don't you know that this is the territory of Haoshan Pavilion? Wearing a grey robe, the Haoshan Pavilion protector Balin strode over with a look of contempt in his eyes. He saw Fang Fan at first sight, and then felt that he was only a low-level quasi-sanctuary, and instantly let go of his vigilance. Low-level quasi-sages are no threat to him. Haoshan Pavilion. Ha ha. This is the site of my human race. It is the site of my emperor's palace. It's useless to tell you this, it's useless. Because you guys are going to die soon. Fang Fan took out the 4-star holy sword and wiped it gently in the palm of his hand. The blood debt is destined to be repaid with blood. Are you a human race? The human race still has a genius like you. Not bad, not bad, so Bone Age can be promoted to the quasi-sanctuary, very good. I will give you a chance to become my war slave, and I will spare your life. Haoun, the son of the pavilion master of Haoshan Pavilion, strode forward and nodded proudly after seeing Fang Fan. You shouldn't know my identity yet. I am the parent and son of the pavilion master of Haoshan Pavilion. I am Haoun, and now I am the master of this plane. It is your great honor to be my war slave. As Hao Yun spoke, the arrogant look on his face became more and more. Fang Fan was silent, because talking to the dead is meaningless. When his sword is wiped clean, there will be blood. Young Master Yun, they killed Shan and killed hundreds of thousands of practitioners in our Haoshan Pavilion. They must die. They are not qualified to become war slaves. Haoshan Pavilion protector Balin glanced at Hao Yun indifferently, and then said directly.